My name is Hanspetermeyer, and this morning I'm sitting in Hamish Murray's kitchen here in Cumberland. Morning, Hamish.
Morning, Hans.
This is part of a series of conversations about conservation in the Comox Valley, and Hamish is involved in several stream stewardship groups. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So, which ones are they?
Here in Cumberland, I'm involved with the Perseverance Creek Streamkeepers, but I also do volunteer work with both with the Solom River Restoration Society and the Millard-Piercy Streamkeepers.
So, why are you involved in Millard Creek and Solom River when you live in Cumberland?
Partly I got involved with those first through various friends and enjoyed it. And the Perseverance Creek Streamkeepers is a recently formed society. We've only been in as a society for about 4 years. So I brought my knowledge from the other Streamkeepers groups up to here, realizing that there was a need to look after a creek in my own backyard.
So what does that mean to look after a creek in your backyard?
Well, it started off just enjoying the creek, noting changes on it. A bunch of us.
Were you fishing there, or what were you doing in there?
No, just walking through the watershed. Following a creek is usually a normal thing to do. Noting it, a bunch of us noted that in the summer months, when the lake level, Perseverance Creek starts in the hills behind Cumberland and flows down into Comox Lake. In the lower reaches, as the lake level drops in the summer, we noticed a lot of the pools were getting isolated, and the salmon, the coho fry, were dying, were getting fried. Just with a bunch of buckets and nets, aquarium nets, a bunch of us got together and started scooping these fish out, putting them in buckets and taking them up to the lake and releasing them. Probably doing it all wrong at the beginning.
Yeah. So there's a right way to do that?
Well, there is. The fish are already stressed, so as we got more knowledge and got experience through some of the DFO advisors, we put aerators in the buckets, made sure that the temperature was cool enough for them, transported them in a larger tank up to the lake. We're hoping we're making a difference. Certainly they would die anyway if we didn't rescue them. I think the estimates are about probably 10% of will survive. We're rescuing about 5,000 to 8,000 a year.
Do you fish?
Not very often.
So why are you worried about the fish in your Perseverance Creek?
I'm worried about the creek in general. I see it as part of our whole watershed. It's the one focus of the watershed. The fish in it are I guess just something that we can do easily. We can't get involved in keeping the banks from getting eroded or not. That's just natural process. I guess the fish are one way we can focus activities. It's one way to attract other volunteers. Rather than just saying, well, we come out and look after the creek, we can give them a specific chore to do. Come out and rescue fry. Can be done with kids, and there's a tangible result.
Do you talk to your friends about what you're doing?
I do.
What do they say? Like, they think you're nuts to scoop these fish up and...
Well, I choose my friends carefully, so and usually when I do talk about this sort of thing, it's to get them involved. And they don't necessarily have to live in Cumberland. I've got some friends that are involved that live in Comox, but do enjoy coming out, getting hip waders on and poking around in the stream bed.
Oh yeah? Okay. But your organization, the Perseverance Creek Society, is involved with the Comox Valley Conservation Strategy.
Yes.
Can you tell me, how would you describe that strategy? And why is your creek organization involved?
I look at it as a collection of a bunch of stewardship groups in the valley coming together, pooling resources, pooling knowledge. I suppose having one voice when it comes to making people aware of conservation and stewardship activities. I think it's been done in an ad hoc manner before. I know with my work with other streamkeeping groups, I'm forever either borrowing equipment or asking more experienced streamkeepers questions about if we're doing things properly.
Mm-hmm.
So I do view it now that it's become a more official entity as something that I think will benefit our organization and all the other organizations involved in it.
How does it benefit you? And how does it, and what does it mean to someone like me who lives, basically downtown Courtenay and doesn't spend a lot of time scooping up fish in creeks, if at all?
If at all. Well, I think the way I've seen them begin to work is through this series of interviews as well, is to be able to put forth a united front when it comes time to approaching our local politicians on stewardship issues. I think through pooling our resources, we'll better reach the public if we see having one voice speaking for a number of groups.
Mm-hmm.
The groups such as my own, we don't have a lot of time to spend in meetings or fundraising. We're really just there to poke around in the creek and rescue
Right.
fish. So this way we can use some of the resources that other groups can bring to the conservation strategy for our benefit.
Okay. So, what is the one thing that people like me who aren't actively, putting on hip waders, walking creeks, scooping up fish, whatever, what is the one thing that we can do to support the kind of work that you guys do?
I think become aware of some of these stewardship activities in the valley. I think to yourself what's brought you to the valley, what's important in your community, and I think amongst other things, the environment is probably one of the reasons that a lot of us are living here.
Mm-hmm.
The proximity to green space, proximity to wilderness. So become aware of some of those issues. Be prepared to volunteer. Now, not everyone wants to get into the stream and rescue fish. But if these issues are important to you, if you can see a benefit to the community, then make your elected officials aware of your views and that they should be listening to some of the stewardship groups.
Okay. Do you think that local government is listening to stewardship groups?
I think in a limited way. I think they've been made aware of some of our issues,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that rather than the push coming from the groups, I think the push has to come from a wider range of the public.
Mm-hmm.
If the public says, so this is an important issue to us, start listening to some of the stewardship groups and their concerns, then I think the politicians will begin to listen a bit closer.
Well, thank you for your time, and good luck with your scooping the salmon up, and hopefully over time you will get to be better than 10% recovery. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Hans.
Yeah.